Hi there, Annalena here. I'm back doing another video. I want to share a short story with you that I've written. I'm pretty close to a road, so you might hear some cars coming by, but we can live with that. It's just a short little thing, and I wrote it many, many years ago. I actually think it was back in 2006 that I wrote it, and it's just been in my drawer ever since, and now I want to share it. I've translated it into English. So as you can see, I'm out in nature again, and I just love it. I'm gonna need my glasses to read. Okay, this story is called Look at Me. Look at me. A woman is walking along the beach. It's a clear autumn day, and the air is clean and cool. She's wearing warm clothes and walks slowly, almost as if something is holding her back. She stops and looks over the water, keeping her arms close to her body to keep warm. Her gaze rests for a while on the sun's rays that glitter softly upon the water. Then she slowly turns and looks back in the direction she was walking. She closes her eyes and travels back in time. It's a lovely summer day. The sun is high in a bright blue sky. The same woman walks along the beach. Her 6-year-old daughter dances happily next to her mother. They have brought equipment for a day at the beach. The child looks inquisitively towards the cloudless sky and then at her mother. Mom? The mother's thoughts are elsewhere, so she barely hears what her daughter says. Is it true that God can see everything we do? The child leans her head backwards and looks up to the sky, but her mother's thoughts remain elsewhere. If God, what? She stops and looks around. The child also stops, but now she has a determined expression on her face. Is it true that God can see everything we do? The mother puts the equipment in the sand and takes a blanket out of the bag. Look, this is a nice place. But Mom. Yes, what did you say? Do you think God can see everything we do? The mother puts the blanket in the sand and smiles gently at her daughter. Oh, I don't know, maybe. She sits on the blanket, finds the sunscreen in her bag, and puts some on her face. The child flashes a critical, inquiring look to the cloudless sky. I don't think he can see us. The mother is still putting sunscreen on. No? She waves at her daughter to come to her. Come, time for sunscreen. The daughter walks over to her mother, who puts sunscreen on her arms and legs. The child looks to the sky once more. No, because if God can see us, why can't we see him? The mother creams her daughter's face and nose tip. Why this and why that? She kisses her daughter on the cheek. There you go, now you're done. The mother brings out a bathing ring that she starts to blow up. The child sits down and lets the fine sand run through her fingers. But Mom, the mother mumbles while she's blowing. Do you think God is invisible? She shakes her head as she continues to blow. The daughter digs her hands into the sand. I think he's invisible. The mother puts the stopper in the bathing ring and leaves it by her side. Do you? She takes a mobile phone and book from her bag and reads a message, whilst trying to answer her daughter's questions. Yes, because if God can see us and we can't see him, then he must be invisible. The mother mumbles absent-mindedly while she responds to the message. She puts her mobile phone back in the bag, breathes deeply, and bends her head from side to side to stretch her neck. But Mom, yes dear, do you think God can see us when it rains? If God can see us when it rains? Now the mother laughs, but her daughter is serious. Yes, do you think so? Do you know what, Camilla? I really don't know, but now you have to stop asking. The mother gets up. She takes the bag with beach toys and empties the contents in the sand. Look, now you can play. The child fills the bucket with sand while the mother takes the book and lies down on her stomach to read. I don't think God can see us when it rains. The mother puts a finger in the book. She breathes a little heavily, rests her head on one arm, and looks at her daughter. But Mom, it's just because he cannot see us through the clouds. No, I'm sure he can't. The mother puts down the book and massages her temples. She then finds a box of strawberries in the bag, takes off the lid and points it towards her daughter. Here, do you want one? Yes, hooray, strawberries! The daughter gets up and dances towards her mother. She's just about to take a strawberry when her mother sees that she has a lot of sand on her fingers. Stop! The mother takes a strawberry and puts it in her mouth. There you go. She puts the box of strawberries on the blanket and continues to read. The daughter sits down in the sand again. She turns the bucket of sand and decorates the pile with shells and small stones. Look, Mom! The mother looks up briefly from the book. Yes, it's very nice. The child looks at her mother, who reads on. She sits next to her and gently sprays sand on her upper arm. Is it tickling? The mother reacts. Don't do that. I don't want sand on the blanket. She brushes the sand off her arm and towel. The child gets up and looks at her mother for a while. Mom? Yes, what is it? Do you want to play? Not now. Do you want to build a sandcastle? Not now, I need to relax. The daughter sits down by her toys and digs a little in the sand. Then she gets a new idea. She puts a line in the sand, walks away, runs and jumps as far as she can when she reaches the line. Look how far I can jump, Mom! The daughter jumps again and lands so close to her mother that both the blanket and the box with strawberries are filled with sand. The mother gets up. My God, Camilla, watch out! She takes the box with the sandy strawberries and shakes the blanket, clearly irritated. Can't I have just one moment of rest? The daughter looks at her mother, who is lying down again. Then she sees the bathing ring. Might be bathing ring. I want to swim. Don't nag. But I want to swim now. The mother looks at her daughter. Okay, you can swim, but put on your bathing ring. Hooray! The daughter puts the bathing ring around her waist and runs down to the water. The mother sits up with her face towards the water so that she can see her. Don't go too far out. Okay, Mom. The mother continues to read while she keeps an eye on her daughter regularly. The sun is strong, and she must shade her eyes to see her. The child plays in the water that reaches to her thighs. She's practicing how to swim. Look, Mom, I can swim. Yes, that's fine. The mother is still immersed in the book and does not see that her daughter has found out that she can dive under the bathing ring and come up again. Look at me, Mom. The daughter waves at her mother, who sees that she has her head and upper body over the water and the bathing ring around her waist. Well done! A few seconds pass before the mother looks up again. When she can no longer hear her daughter's voice, she feels a little anxious at first. She looks towards the water but is blinded by the sun. When she discovers that her daughter is no longer in the water, she gets up and calls out her name. Camilla! Milla! Not until now does she see the empty bathing ring floating alone in the water. In a fraction of a second, she is paralyzed, but then panic-stricken. Desperately, she runs down to the water. Camilla! Milla! Milla! She desperately fights her way through the water to get to the bathing ring. Then she sees her daughter, who is under the water. She lifts her up and screams, "No! No!" The mother fights her way out and onto dry land with her daughter in her arms. She cries for help, but there is no one nearby. She puts her daughter down in the sand and tries to give heart massage. She tilts her head back and gives her mouth to mouth. There is no sign of life in the child. The mother fumbles helplessly over the little body whilst trying to fight the insanity that is overwhelming her. She pulls the child towards her and tries to shake her back to life. Desperation once again takes over, and she lets out an anguished roar of pain. Eventually she gives up and holds her lifeless daughter close to her body. She is in shock and begins rocking back and forth with the child in her arms as she is crying helplessly. The daughter has her eyes closed and lies completely still in her mother's arms. We are back to the clear autumn day. The woman is sitting down in the sand with her hands covering her face as she is rocking back and forth. She is crying. Through her tears, she hears the faint sound of a small child's voice. "Mom?" The mother looks up, her face full of tears. Her daughter is standing in front of her, also wearing warm autumn clothes. "Why are you crying, Mom?" The mother wipes her eyes and face and shakes her head. I don't know." She struggles to find the right words, but her daughter shakes her head and looks at her. "I think you're crying because you're thinking about when I almost drowned." The mother smiles through her tears and nods slowly. Then she closes her eyes and holds her daughter close to her. It is summer again. The mother is rocking back and forth with her lifeless daughter in her arms. In a last desperate attempt, she sticks her fingers into the throat of the child, who begins to cough. Finally, she expels the water in her lungs. The mother is gasping and crying from utter relief. The sun is low on the clear autumn sky. The mother and the daughter walk hand in hand back along the beach. They swing their arms together, and the child dances happily beside her mother. She looks up at the sky. "Mom?" The mother looks at her daughter. "Yes? Do you think God has wings?" "If God has wings? I don't know, Milla. What do you think?" "I think he has wings." "Really? How come you think so?" "Because otherwise he would fall down from heaven." The mother looks at her daughter, full of admiration. "You're a very wise little lady." The daughter smiles delightfully. "Mom, do you think I'll be an angel when I die?" The mother puts a hand on her daughter's cheek and strokes her lovingly and gently. Camilla lifts her shoulders and smiles from ear to ear. You are my little angel down here on earth, my dear girl. Camilla gives her mother a big hug. Together they walk hand in hand back along the beach. So that was the short story, Look at Me. I never go into analyzing anything that I have written myself. I can share with you that the questions that the child asked in the stories are the same questions that my second daughter would ask when she was the same age. She was a very existential girl when she was 5, 6 years of age. So that was all I wanted to share today. I'll go back home and listen to it to check if the audio is okay. There is another little short story coming up. I want to share it also on my YouTube channel, and it's called Every Single Moment, or I might call it Every Battery is soon empty here, so I'll just shut it up. I'll just say goodbye for now. Take care, be blessed, have a beautiful day, and love to our children.